Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to look through this thing. I'm going to tell you the ones that I relate to, things that I think are placed well, things that I think are placed poorly, and my take on, is this a good iceberg diagram or a bad one? At the top right, and I'll hide my webcam, you've just picked up a copy of the game. And what have you gotten yourself into? But some Fox-only Final Destination. That's the first meme you've been acclimated to in the Melee community. You know, you got your Wombo combo, and you got a lot of stuff that you've heard about Melee that you know about Melee, I guess. You know about the gods from the metagame documentary, maybe. I'm a little bit surprised to see Destroying the Great Fox Guns up here. I feel like Destroying the Great Fox Guns, that's kind of like advanced. Ledge mechanics, I might put a little lower. There's some kooky ledge mechanics. Black hole glitch, yeah, okay. I'm with it. I would probably even put this a little. You got like wobbling in the tier 2. I would switch black hole glitch and wobbling. I think everyone knows what wobbling is. I don't think everybody knows what the black hole glitch is. But I think splitting Brinstar, okay, when I played on April Fool's Day, little known fact, I guess, because people sure didn't know this, they kept dying. If you're Fox, because your up B has a multi-hit with the flames, you can do an up B on top of the little eggs in the middle of Brinstar. It'll split the stage in 2, and Falcos will come down and they're trying to down air me, and the stage would split and they would just SD. And it was really funny. And I got like 3 people with this that day. So I don't want to see this in surface level at all. This is definitely not above the surface. People do not know you can do this. East versus West, I guess, is like the East Coast rivalry. 20XX is kind of an older meme at this point. I think a couple years ago, 20XX would be up here. Who can make the Hyrule Temple jump? That's actually a little bit advanced. I feel like I would have to even think on this one. I don't even know off the top of my head who all the characters are. I'd have to really think about it. What the fuck is the Pro Jared Gaddaro challenge? Am I missing something here? Is this some old school shit? Don't ask me to explain. I don't fucking know. Infinite Super Scope. Like, I feel like that's not super duper surface level. And case in point, by the way, I was just saying, I think Black Hole Glitch should be lower. How does this make any fucking sense? The thumbnail image for the 3rd tier down, we're now right below the ocean. This is the Black Hole Glitch. Why is Black Hole Glitch not in Black Hole Glitch tier? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Well, that's exactly what I was saying. Black Hole Glitch should be lower. Did he just walk up slowly and down? See, to me, this feels more surface level than the Pro Jared Ganondorf challenge, but... Because that video, honestly, did he just walk up slowly? Like, the actual video, the Pro Jared Ganondorf challenge had 300k views. This video has 3 million views. This is the VG Bootcamp. Yo, did he just walk up slowly and down smash? So, I'm a little surprised to see this low. This mostly feels pretty good, though. Because this is when you're, like, a little bit invested in the community. And you're learning some stuff like, for example, port priority. Like, you would never know about port priority from just watching tournaments, right? Like, if you're just watching tournaments on Twitch or YouTube, you'll never really see this kind of stuff come up. So you're actually looking into the scene a little bit, you know? Still a lot of old school stuff, though. No one ever talks about triangle jump anymore. Triangle jump is like an old school terminology. And what it basically, people talked about it back in the day, like they did it on purpose. But what triangle jump is really you try to do a wave dash and you did your air jump. You did your air dodge kind of sloppy. And so you go into the ground like a triangle, like a Magneto triangle jump. You did your air dodge too late because it's 2003 and you can't wave dash that good yet. And then you like say, oh yeah, that was on purpose. That was a triangle jump. Sex kick, good question. So sex kick refers to, I don't know how this phrase started. I think Matt Deasy came up with this. I think sex kick is a Matt Deasyism. It might also be, I think it was Matt Deasy, but what a sex kick is, it's basically like, think Fox's Nair or Link's Nair or Samus's Nair. Any Nair where you stick your move out and then it just like stays. It's like a lingering hitbox through the air. In every, Deasy, right? Yeah. In Smash 64, every single neutral air in the game is a sex kick. Every single one. And I think when Melee came out, I'm assuming they wanted some way, because like in 64, you would just say neutral air. Every neutral air functions like that, like Fox's Nair, Samus Nair, Link Nair, Yoshi Nair. In 64, every Nair functions like that. And in Melee, I guess they wanted a way to refer to moves that are like that, except for the fact that now Falcon's neutral air is a 2-hit kick. It's completely different. Marth neutral air, etc. So they came up with sex kick, I guess. Really old school phrase, though. I will say sex kick, like, when I started playing Melee in 2008, it was a phrase that you heard. It was pretty commonly used, and everyone knew what a sex kick was in 2008. You don't hear it anymore. Oh, I would put the Smash documentary further up. This is definitely not like a sub-ocean level deep lore knowledge type thing. I feel like Smash documentary is pretty surface level. Maybe it could be up here. Maybe one tier up, you know? Ditto's tournament icon? What the fuck is Ditto's tournament icon? Icon for Ditto in tournament mode? Oh, if you ran him for tourney mode. Wow. That's kind of sick. All right, the next tier, it's Peach looking fucking, it's like the Attack on Titan Peach tier or something. I don't know what to call this. GoldenEye 007 sensor bombs. I've never heard that, but that's so badass. I love the sensor bombs in GoldenEye. Obviously, it's the motion sensor bombs. AMSA Tech definitely belongs in this tier because I think there's definitely a non-trivial amount of people that hear the words AMSA Tech on commentary and they think we're talking about AMSA the Yoshi player. I mean, it makes sense. The only AMSA you hear about at every national these days is the Japanese Yoshi player AMSA. So I'm sure a lot of new players are like, oh, AMSA Tech. It's a tech that AMSA's doing. But it's really not. In fact, AMSA himself probably doesn't AMSA Tech very much at all. Isaiah / Shy drop. You never hear about Isaiah dropping anymore. Do people know what Isaiah dropping is? You never hear the phrase used anymore. It's become so part of like, I feel like it's almost so ubiquitous that no one even knows it as a name. Isaiah dropping is like, okay, you know how if you like try to laser onto a platform with Falco and you try to drop through while you're as soon as you land from the Falco laser, if you try to drop through the platform, you actually can't. There's like a significant chunk of time. It's not shield drop. There's a pretty significant chunk of time after you've landed, like Imaginary Fox or Falco, when you've landed from a laser, you can do everything else on the ground, but you can't drop through a platform. But what you can do is, because you can do everything else on the ground, you can walk. And once you start walking, you can drop through the platform. So what you do is you walk for 1 frame or some tiny number of frames, and then you drop through the platform. Okay, watch this. You see how I'm gonna laser and drop through the platform, but oh, what's going on? I can't drop the platform. If I turn on inputs, you see I'm hitting down, but he's not dropping through the platform. Falco won't drop through the platform, so what can I do? You do that. That time I messed it up. The Jigglypuff, it's kind of cool that that's in this tier. This is a KJH technique where you shield poke Jigglypuff. Pretty good. XYB victory streams already went over this. Scar does this every time. And then there's some stuff in here, like, yeah, some of this stuff is pretty advanced. What is Sammy Nair? Sammy Nair obviously means drug fight. Is Sammy Nair the one where you do fast fall and then Nair as Sheik? I call that either the Kirby Kaze Nair or the Spark Nair, to be honest with you. I didn't know Sammy did that much, but I'm sure, I mean, every technical Sheik does this, I guess. Other stuff in this tier, what is Ice Top? What does that mean? Ice Climber is the only universe with a starter character in Melee to have only 1 stage. So the stage was intended to be a second Ice Climber stage, and they just didn't make it. I bet Ice Top was probably going to look similar to that that stage in Brawl. Yeah, they even say so. This is probably what Ice Top was supposed to be, was this. The summit. The Smash Summit. Moving down, now you're really into the community. 2016 Ohio Pichu scandal. Fuck yeah. What did they call it? Super Pichu. This was the guy that literally had a hacked memory card working a buffed ass Pichu with way better moves and shit. And he actually beat PR players. And it took a while for them to even notice what the fuck was going on. That is to say, like, he beat 4%. 4% was like a ranked, I think top 100 at 1.2, right? I think 4% was like top 100 with Puff. And he beat like a, and I guess people were kind of like, man, this feels funky, but like, do you understand how hard it is? Even if you feel like some bullshit's happening, do you understand how hard it is to be at a tournament and go, hey, I think you're cheating by hacking the game? Like, you know how like when people call hacks in like first person shooters, do you realize how crazy you have to sound to go up to the TO and be like, yeah, I lost the set, but I think he was fucking cheating, man. I think he hacked Pichu. Like, you sound like a fucking maniac. So like, even if you think something might be going on, like, no one's ever done that. It was not assumed to even be possible. Like, you think people knew in 2016 that you could hack characters and put them on a fucking memory card like that and load it into a tournament setup? So it's crazy. It was crazy that this happened. Eventually, the guy got busted. Oh, MTK McDonald's story. This is with the chicken nuggets. That's a Scarto Show classic. Love to see that down here. You got Cactuar dashing, which is a technique that's largely been rendered irrelevant because now people just dash out of crouch. Cactuar dashing was basically a phenomenon. I'll show you Cactuar dashing. Let me show you Cactuar dashing. Well, okay, these days you just dash back out of crouch because it ain't no thing, and people have realized it ain't no thing, right? You just do this. You don't roll with it. Right? You just dash back out of crouch. But it's hard. To dash back out of crouch, you gotta go from down to backwards within 2 frames. Otherwise, you don't get it. But what you could do, everyone knew it was way easier to dash forward out of crouch than backwards. So you can do that. You just go in a momentary dash dance. You see how you just dash forward and then immediately dash back. Anything else really cool in here? Turn Illegal Mute City. I fucking miss those days. Those days were fucking dope. Puff Fluffer. Well, Puff Fluffer was, you know, back in the day, back in a time that was not even very long ago. Not even very long ago. Hungrybox was the #1 player in the world, and he was a fucking problem, and he wouldn't really play friendlies with people. So if you wanted to practice against him, you needed to bring another Puff player to the tournament. And there was a period where Prince Abu was getting flown out to Summit by some of the top players just to get Puff practice for Hungrybox. What's a Tapion Stomp? It's not really called the Tapion Stomp. It should be called the Tapion Punch. The opponent is below the side platform. You stomp from above the side platform. The stomp pokes through the platform, pops them up, and then you Falcon Punch. I think it has to be a stomp through plat or it's not a true Tapion Punch. Green Falcon is objectively better because he has bigger ECB? I thought it's a smaller ECB. Okay, well, let me demonstrate to you. Because I see some people in the chat are confused. Let me explain this one. What I'm doing is I'm spamming down smash. That's what happens with neutral Falcon. Watch what happens with green Falcon. Is it green Falcon? He stays there forever. So yeah, he does have a bigger ECB. He doesn't fall off the fucking thing because he's got a big ol' ECB that lets him stay on the roof of the castle. This doesn't work with the other Falcons. Anyway, there's definitely some in this tier that I don't know. This is the first tier where I'm starting to feel like I don't know certain things at like a pretty, at a more recurring level. Like active missile limit and beta platforms? I might know what these are, but I don't know them by their name. And there's no way, by the way, Respect Your Elders left and diss track should be this low. There's just no way. If you're this invested in the community to where you're making this Wario face because of the distinct tournament smell, you're long acclimated to Respect Your Elders. Respect Your Elders should be like, honestly, like low key, like if Wombo Combo's up here, Respect Your Elders should be like here. Might be like here or maybe here. No fucking way it's down here. There's no fucking way Respect Your Elders is at the bottom of the iceberg. Look, if it's got a Rap Genius page, there's no way it's at the bottom of the iceberg. And you know what? I'm going to speak on this. Distinct tournament smell. Okay, I'll say it. I think the Smashers are smelly meme is a little bit overblown. I don't really necessarily think Smashers are smelly. I think a lot of us do shower. However, I think there is a distinct tournament smell, but I think it's more of a positive smell. Like there's like, you know what I mean? There's like a CRT smell, I feel like. I feel like you could smell the fucking CRT waves in the air. You know what I'm talking about? That's a great smell. You go to the tournament, I don't know how to explain it. It's like almost like a little bit of like an iron kind of smell. You know what I'm talking about? All right, well, now we're in Brinstar depths. We're in the real depths. We're below the iceberg. In fact, we're getting really below the iceberg, but we're not that below the iceberg yet. End credit challenge finally perfected after 20 years. This actually did happen pretty recently. Now we're really getting into the realm of like, I actually don't know what several of these are. Like, I really don't know what several of these are. Falco's Dare was nerfed. Well, this is obvious. This is just Pal Dare. Pal Dare. European Dare is just way worse. You can't spike unless you get the clean hit. I mean, the last item in this category is Falco with feathers on his dick, ? Which sounds like an unsolved mystery to me. Right? That sounds like an unsolved mystery to me. There's really just no way to know. There's really just no way to know. You have to ask him, but you have to be very polite, I think. Also under here is Switzerland. I actually do know what Switzerland is. Switzerland is, Switzerland, I guess, was a neutral nation, more or less, during, I think, World War II, right? So, Switzerland was, this is a bonus you get after your stages in adventure mode or classic mode. If you don't kill any enemies, or if you don't attack, I think, even, if you're able to win without doing attacks, you get the Switzerland bonus. Space Animals item pickup SFX is that the Shine uses the same pickup sound effect, or the same sound effect as when you pick up an item. Dreamland is asymmetrical, is that the right platform on Dreamland is actually slightly, I believe it's lower. Could be higher, but I think it's lower than the left side platform. Which once you see it, you will never be able to unsee it, and it's actually kind of annoying, especially if you're like a designer. Now we're in Giga Bowser tier, which apparently Falco Master 3000's Giga Bowser tier. Falco Master 3000 was one of the premier Smash memes a couple years ago. Falco Master was the guy that, well, okay, it ended up being Super Boom. There was an actual guy named Falco Master. Because the joke was Falco Master 3000 is just every net play Falco. Or back in the day, it was just every generic Falco. But then someone actually went to a tournament with a mask on and sunglasses. And I think it was actually Super Boom. And I think he might have either won the tournament or did really well. I remember Koopa Backdash Wave Slide Hover Walk Moonland. I don't remember Japan Railways JR stamp promotion, but that sounds fucking dope. Of course, evidence.zip can't contain this ass whooping. I mean, evidence.zip isn't. 20 eggs. Some of these I'm really surprised to see this low. Falco Master, evidence.zip, 20 eggs. Like in 2016, these were such prevalent memes. You know what I'm talking about? I'm surprised to see some of these down here. But then some of these I'm never heard of. Ganondorf's second jab? What is Ganondorf's second jab? Never heard of that. All right, now we're getting to the tiers where apparently this is like the cursed shit because now the text is red. But let's see if I know any of these. This is I'd say the tier. This one I feel like I know, like these tiers, I feel like I know half of them at least, or maybe most of them. These are the tiers where I'm expecting now I just won't know some of these, or actually not even some of these. I think I won't know most of them. I'm going to be surprised when I see ones that I actually know. Final Smashes were meant to debut in Melee. This one I actually know, right? This was something that was covered in that very recent documentary that Ludwig actually watched. What's the name of that documentary? Yes, the one by David Kimball. I didn't know that until that shit, but this was revealed recently, and I'd say now it's a little more common knowledge, but still some crazy shit. Roy is an original character from the Smash Bros. Series. This is known. The first game Roy was from. Roy is actually from Melee. Because Melee came out before, what's it called, Binding Blade? This is known. This is actually, that's not super duper deep, although, you know, you gotta have some knowledge of just general video game trivia to know that shit. Pokemon's tournament legal. I mean, I used to literally counterpick the stage, so... I mean, this isn't cursed here to me. This was my life. I used to go to tournaments, and if you beat me with Marth game 1 and you didn't ban Pokefloats, you better believe I was taking you to Pokefloats game 2. Good luck chain grabbing me. You're going to be able to chain grab me a little bit on Onyx, and that's probably it. And then you're going to forward smash me at 10, and the Blast Zone's right there, so I'll die from a tipper at 10 anyway, so don't worry about it. Back in the day, I remember I had to play Wobbles in tournament in 2009 at Mango Juice, and... he didn't ban Pokefloats, and I took him to Pokefloats, and I think I didn't win the game because I mean, you gotta realize, I've been playing for a couple months. Wobbles was a fucking legend. He got like 4th of the tournament. So he definitely 2-0'd me, but I almost beat him on Pokefloats to show you how bad the stage is. And I actually infinited him on Geodude's bicep. Because there's this part of the stage where Geodude's like this, and if you get a drill shine in the curve of his bicep, Fox has an infinite. It's a drill shine infinite. So he wobbled me, but then I wobbled him with Geodude. And I was like, how's it feel? How's it feel, Wobbles? I bet it doesn't feel so good. It was pretty funny. We were laughing about it. But I did get to wobble Wobbles with Fox's drill shine on the Geodude bicep, which is not something that everyone gets to do. All right, now we're at the very bottom of the thing. This is taxidermy's not... It's a little bit of a stretch, but the theory goes that, you know, when you start the match... in Super Smash Bros. It's more the opposite. It's not that trophies are taxidermy. It's that you're fighting with trophies in Melee. Like, when you spawn in Melee, you know, in Smash 64 and in Brawl, and I think in Ultimate, I think it's the odd number Smash games, each character has a unique animation that plays. But in Melee and Smash 4, the even number titles, there's a generic load-in animation for every character. And in Melee, it looks like they're being kind of turned from their trophy form to the form where they can move around. Sheik is actually Giga Bowser. This is some programming thing. Women are a myth. This just sounds like some incel shit that the guy put on this image. Martha's a Martian. They do start with the same first 4 letters. Found in Dreams, Reflections, or Haunted. I showed this one on stream the other day. Also, I can't do it in the training lab. I need to be able to zoom in. So let's go to versus mode. Let's go to Jigglypuff again. And let's fall asleep. Okay, well, the Slippy or Dolphin uses like low-res Fountain of Dreams reflection so that, you know, it doesn't like lag or whatever. But you'll notice, and it's like this in the real game too, you'll notice that Jigglypuff's fucking eyes... See, maybe this should be in the tier above, because the tier above is Jigglypuff's eyes tier. Jigglypuff's eyes are open in the reflection, like a fucking vampire. It's vampires, right? Mango is the protagonist? I mean, that doesn't sound like, Yeah, that's just true, right? That's just the case. And every copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee is personalized. That's probably true. There's probably like a serial number on there somewhere that's like unique or something. I don't know. Try to see if there's anything else that I really... Overall, pretty good. I'm glad this exists. I would have... But I mean, yeah, I would have... I mean, that is the crazy thing, is that there's literally so many fucking memes about Melee. And this is something I was thinking about today when I went to get food. Like, I was walking around, I was like, dude, our scene, like, the Melee scene actually is so much fucking lore. Like, there's way more lore in Melee than any esports scene has, like, a right to have. Which, I mean, makes sense because we're just 20 fucking years old. You know what I mean? That's just kind of how it is when you have a 20-year-old scene. But there is a shitload of lore in Melee. I'll probably do videos on some of this stuff sometime. This has inspired me to do videos on some of like the lesser known lore, you know, like the shit we used to talk about on the Scar and Tove show, right? There's so much lore.